everyone. So I'm trying to get all of the videos recorded today and get them up on to YouTube. This time we're going to be looking at 9F, and this is perpetuities. Okay, so you remember the annuities, that was an investment, you got interest and you got regular payments until there was nothing left. A perpetuity is also an investment, but this time it's interest only payments. So the actual invested amount never decreases. You can get 20 payments and the amount that you originally invested is still there. It never gets touched. The payments are just the amount of interest that the account earns. So if you think back to interest only loans, these were loans where the person only ever paid back the interest. A perpetuity is similar, except for the fact that it's an investment, so you purchase the investment and then you just get paid back the interest. So your payments are just interest payments. So the value of the perpetuity actually never decreases. Okay? Which makes it easy in a way to do calculations, because usually you're just working out interest, and you can do those without using the financial solver. Though I do have an example using the financial solver so you can see how it works. Alright, let's get started. Now, Penny invests $50,000 into a perpetuity. It's earning interest at a rate of 6%. So what are Penny's monthly payments going to be in this case? So remember, we just need to work out what the interest rate is going to be per month and multiply it by the payment to find out what the monthly payments are going to be. So this is just using our straightforward basic maths. If you really want, you can use the solve function on your calculator, but it's straightforward. Let's have a look. So we've got 6% and we divide that by 12, so it's 0.5%. Remember, for calculations we need that as a decimal, not as a percentage. So it's 0.5 divided by 100 to get it into the decimal, and then we multiply it by the investment amount, which tells us that each month her payments will be $2,500. So by investing this into a perpetuity, she will be able to claim $2,500. Now remember that $50,000 is never going to decrease. She's always going to have $50,000 in the bank. So 10 months later, what's her investment worth? $50,000. 7 years later, what's her investment worth? $50,000. The investment amount never goes down. All she's doing is taking out the amount of interest that is earned each month. Okay? Alright, how much money will need to be invested in a perpetuity that earns 4.2% per annum, compounding monthly, if $200 is to be withdrawn every month? So this is again a basic calculation. We're looking at interest. Slightly different way of looking at it to this last example, but it is just a basic calculation, and the solve function on your calculators will help you here. So we've got 4.2% divided by 12. So we have an interest rate of 0.35%. Now remember, for calculations, we don't want a percentage value, we want a decimal. So as a decimal, it's 0.0035. So what we need to know is what value multiplied by 0.0035 will give us that $200. As I said, you can use the solve function, or this is just basic maths. Up to you what you want to do. So if we enter it, we get x is equal to 57142.877. So what we would need to say is that $57,143 needs to be invested to make sure we can get that $200. Okay? So again, it's a fairly straightforward calculation, and you do have the solve function available on your calculators. Alright, what about one for a financial solver? Let's have a look how we use the financial solver for these types of questions. So a university maths faculty has $30,000 to invest. Now it wants to give out an annual maths prize of $1,500 with the interest earned on that amount of money. So what's the minimum interest rate that will allow this prize to be awarded indefinitely? Now, you can see straight up that we could just enter this very much like this calculation and get the answer. But let's do it using the financial solver so you can see how the financial solver is used in these situations. Okay, so number of payments is just going to be 1 because it's going to be the same payment, exactly the same each and every time. So we're just working with n equals 1. Now, remember that a perpetuity is an investment. The person is investing the money, so therefore we have to enter it as a negative. So we enter our negative $30,000. We know we need a payment of $1,500. And the future value is going to be $30,000. Remember, the investment amount doesn't go down. But note, this one has to be entered as a positive value because that money belongs to the person. The bank would have to give it back to the person, the $30,000 if they wanted it. So because the bank has to give it back to the person, we enter it as a positive. Payments and compounding periods, we just need to deal with one, and then we would leave the interest rate blank. Okay, so you're going to hit enter and you're going to get an answer of 5%. Alright, use the solve function on your calculator, set it up like this, use the solve function on the calculator to prove that you get exactly the same answer when you use the solve function or when you use the financial solver. Either way will get you the correct answer. So let's just go over a couple of things that we've covered in the last few lessons. So a perpetuity is an investment where the invested amount doesn't decrease. Payments are the interest amount earned. So in a perpetuity, the initial investment amount never decreases. In an annuity, which we covered in the last lesson, in an annuity, that is also an investment. However, the interest and the investment is paid out slowly over time. And at the end of the annuity, there will be nothing left. So those are the key differences between a perpetuity and an annuity. Let's think about interest-only loans. Now, remember, with an interest-only loan, you only want this for a short time if you ever set one of these up in real life. You get a loan from the bank, say for $50,000, and you only pay back the interest. So you never decrease the amount you owe. Okay? Eventually, however, you're going to have to pay back that money. So do keep that in mind. So those are some of the different kinds of situations that we've been dealing with in the last few lessons. Alright, guys, I will see you on WebEx really soon. Bye!